The story begins in 2018 with a young beautiful woman named Gu, whose dad passed away a couple of years ago. This unfortunate event led to a downturn in her financial situation, forcing her to sell her childhood home. Subsequently, she finds herself living in a rented house while working a job. Gu's dream is to buy back her old house, as it holds precious memories of her with her dad, but her lousy job doesn't pay her well to even cover her daily expenses. Faced with these challenges, she wishes to marry a wealthy man, but only on the condition that he buys her old house back for her. On the flip side, in the year 1999, there is a man named Lou who is an architect. He's desperate for an investor to believe in and invest in his ideas. Unfortunately, none of the investors seem to appreciate Lou's designs and they refuse to make any deals with him. Meanwhile, a seemingly creepy man approaches Gu, claiming to be a potato wholesaler, and expresses his willingness to marry her under the condition that he buys a house for her. Gu does not like the man, but driven by financial reasons reluctantly accepts his proposal. He promises to contribute 2 million yuan towards purchasing the house and asks Gu for 30,000 yuan to have the property registered in both of their names after the wedding. Gu withdraws the money from an ATM and hands it over to him. However, the man concocts an excuse to fetch water and disappears with Gu's money, prompting her to report the incident to the police. On the other side, Lou sits in the office restroom, where he overhears the company manager Si-chung and another employee hatching a plan to take over the company by fraudulently obtaining the owner's signature on a document. Lou listens to their entire conversation while seated inside, but in a moment of clumsiness he drops something, which alerts Si-chung to the presence of someone inside. Si-chung quickly discovers Lou and pulls him out. Si-chung offers Lou a deal to invest in Lou's ideas in exchange for Lou keeping his mouth shut about Si-chung's plan. After a roller coaster of a day, both Gu and Lou head to their respective homes, which happen to be the same apartment but in different timelines. Once home, Gu puts her clothes in a washing machine before indulging in a relaxing bath in the tub, while Lou gets busy washing his vegetables. Strangely, Gu's clothes end up in Lou's cooking pot, and the vegetables that Lou was washing in the sink end up in Gu's bathtub. Similarly, when Gu tries to take out conditioner for her hair, the conditioner ends up falling directly onto Lou's head in his timeline. Both are utterly confused about the occurrences but decide not to dwell on them too much before drifting off to sleep. The following morning, Lou wakes up with an unintentional slap from Gu. She panics upon seeing Lou in her room, thinking they've been burglarized. However, her gaze lands on the window, and she is shocked to see a bright sunny day on Lou's side, while Lou is equally surprised to see a rainy day on Gu's side. They both realize that something is off as their homes have seamlessly merged from walls to doors. In a moment of confusion, Lou opens the door from his side, and everything seems normal to him. However, it shocks Gu because it's the year 1999, and everything appears in an old-fashioned setting. Similarly, when Gu opens the door from her side, everything seems normal to her, but this time Lou is shocked to see the developed world of 2018. A moment of realization dawns on them as they come to terms with the fact that their houses have somehow merged from different timelines, and Gu even slaps Lou to confirm that it's not a dream. They decide to open both doors simultaneously, but this attempt causes their rooms to merge even more deeply, prompting them to stop. Given that Lou belongs to the 1999 timeline, Gu requests him to take her to that time so she can meet her late father. Lou agrees, and they enter his timeline, where Gu experiences a wave of nostalgia amidst the familiar surroundings. She spots her dad playing with a younger version of herself from a distance, but as she moves closer, a sudden earthquake rattles the scene. Lou quickly grabs her and takes her to the safety. After the incident, Lou requests Gu to take him to her timeline as he is eager to know if he becomes a real estate tycoon in the future. However, Gu suggests that he simply search it on Google. Lou is astonished to see Gu's MacBook, as in 1999 Google and laptops were not a thing. As Lou begins to search for himself on Google, another earthquake occurs. They realize that their current selves cannot establish any contact with their past or future selves, and simultaneously only the person belonging to a specific timeline can open the door to that timeline, otherwise their rooms will start merging again. Later that night, Lou checks out the gadgets from 2018, such as a robotic vacuum cleaner and a massager. While poking around on Gu's phone, Lou accidentally activates Siri. Gu proudly states that in the future everyone has their personal assistant, allowing them to accomplish various tasks. Lou is blown away by realizing that even broke folks can have a personal assistant in the future. In another part of the city, a scientist showcases his new invention to a businessman. He explains how he has managed to temporarily merge two timelines using principles from physics. However, the process is quite unstable and he does not currently have precise coordinates for the merger point. Intrigued by this technology, the businessman sees an opportunity to learn about future advancements, allowing him to manufacture and capitalize on products from the future, with the aim of establishing a monopoly in the Chinese market. Meanwhile, Lou asks Gu about the circumstances surrounding her father's death. Gu recounts that one day he was driving under the influence and took a wrong turn, causing the car to plunge off a cliff, resulting in a fiery explosion. Everything turned to ashes except for her father's keychain, which she has kept as a symbol of his memory. Lou expresses sympathy, acknowledging that it was a difficult past for Gu. The following morning they both head to their respective jobs. Lu's manager Sichung offers him an investment deal as promised, but Lu hesitates to accept it because he finds the ethical aspects of the deal with Sichung troubling. Meanwhile at Gu's workplace, she spots a college friend, and quickly begins pretending to be a customer in the store. When her friend Shaoya notices her, she approaches and brags about her wealthy husband and luxurious lifestyle. In response, Gu casually mentions that her husband is also a millionaire, and Shaoya invites her for dinner with her husband later that night. Following this, Gu rents a suit for Lu and trains him to pretend to be her wealthy husband in front of her friend. The two couples meet at a restaurant, showcasing their wealth and superficial love to each other. However, Lu's behavior seems a bit odd to everyone, but Gu somehow manages to pull it off. After a while, when Lu takes off his coat, Shaoya and her husband notice a rental sticker on it and burst into laughter. It gets worse when Gu angrily taps her hand on the table, causing the fake diamond in her ring to pop out and melt on a cooking pan, leaving Gu feeling extremely embarrassed. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, Gu breaks into tears at home, and Lu attempts to cheer her up by baking a chocolate cake for her. Just then a news flash appears on Lu's TV, reporting that a man has won a lottery of 200 billion yuan. This sparks an idea in Gu and Lu's minds. They decide to check the winning lottery numbers of 1999 and 2018 and buy a lottery ticket with the same numbers in 1999. Excited about the possibility of becoming billionaires in a few days, Gu and Lu celebrate the moment by watching VR movies and enjoying drinks at a bar. However, after receiving the bill, Gu realizes that they have been drinking at the bar of 2018 instead of 1999, which is more expensive. Lacking the money to pay for the expensive drinks, Gu decides to give her expensive bag as collateral, assuring that she will return the next day to settle the bill and retrieve her bag. The following day, Gu and Lu wake up excitedly for the lottery winning announcement, and just as they thought, they win the lottery, but their triumph is short-lived as the winning numbers on their ticket suddenly vanish. They realize that they cannot change the future by altering the past in this way. Gu vents her frustration on Lu by calling him penniless, only to be interrupted by a video of future Lu playing on a billboard behind them. It turns out that Lu has become a successful real estate tycoon in the future and has also changed his name to Ming. Witnessing this, Lu decides to meet his future self, and Gu's demeanor suddenly changes towards him as she tries to butter him up. However, as Lu arrives at the conference where Ming is present, an earthquake suddenly strikes. Lu sustains an injury to his hand, and the same scar appears on Ming's hand. This event triggers memories for Ming, recalling moments from Lu's past. Following the earthquake, everyone is quickly evacuated for safety. Afterward, it is revealed that on that day, the businessman with the scientist was none other than Ming. The scientist explains to Ming that they accidentally opened a door to the past, specifically in 1999, and any action taken by the past Lu in the 2018 timeline could affect Ming, potentially causing him to vanish. The scientist suggests that the only way to avoid this is for Lu to return to his timeline, pursue his career, and shape his future in the same way that led Ming to where he is now. On the flip side, Lu exposes his manager's unethical plans in front of the company owner and decides to leave the company. Meanwhile, Ming visits Gu's workplace and invites her to dinner. Gu agrees happily, but she soon discovers that Ming has transformed into a completely different person, with no innocence and charm left on his face, and she even feels uncomfortable in his presence. During dinner, Ming explains the entire situation to Gu and urges her to cut ties with Lu once and for all. In return, he pledges to repurchase her childhood home. Gu agrees to the deal, not solely for the house, but out of concern that her involvement with Lu might negatively impact his future. After returning home, Gu hugs Lu and breaks the news with a fake smile that she will be moving out. Lu's heart sinks with the revelation. Additionally, Gu informs him that Ming has advised him to accept Sichung's investment offer, which strikes Lu as odd. As she leaves, tears well up in her eyes, realizing that she has developed feelings for Lu and will never be able to meet him again. However, the door isn't fully closed, which means that Lu still has the opportunity to travel to 2018 without the help of Gu. Meanwhile, Ming walks the talk and gifts Gu her childhood house. He also provides her with his driver's number, ensuring that if Gu ever needs any financial help, she can contact the driver. On the flip side, as Ming had instructed, Lu accepts Sichung's investment offer. At night, Sichung sneaks into the office of the owner of the company and starts manipulating files on his computer. However, the owner arrives unexpectedly and catches Sichung in the act. Before he can report to the police, Sichung violently attacks him, rendering him unconscious. Sichung sees this as an opportunity and decides to frame the incident as an accident, pouring alcohol into the owner's mouth to make it appear as a drunk driving case. He plans to stage a car crash, making it look like the owner caused the accident while driving under the influence, intending to take control of the company by eliminating the owner. Meanwhile, Gu is sitting alone in her new home when suddenly the doorbell rings and Ming arrives with the bag she left at the bar. However, Gu notices the rental sticker on Ming's coat and realizes that he is not Ming but Lu, who is acting like Ming. She impulsively kisses him, and they share their final goodbye with tears in their eyes. Afterward, Lu returns home and receives a call from Sichung, who seeks Lu's help in the plan to kill the owner. On the other side, Ming recalls the events of that day when he along with Sichung killed the owner and took over the company. Over time he became ruthless, prioritizing money over everything, losing the charm and innocence he had 19 years ago. However, the universe gives Lu a second chance to alter his fate. During the confrontation with Sicheng, Lu notices the owner's car keychain, and his blood runs cold as he recognizes the same keychain Gu had kept as a memento of her dad. He realizes that the owner is none other than Gu's dad. He feels a deep sense of regret that because of him, Gu became an orphan and decides to change the future by saving the owner. As a result, Ming disappears in 2018 because Lu's actions have altered the course of events. Gu also realizes that Lu has changed the future. Before everything can change, the two run to their apartment to meet each other one last time. However, as Lu tries to touch Gu, she vanishes as well because her past is also shifted due to her father's survival. Months later, while Lu is standing in the market, listening to a performer's music, Gu suddenly appears, and Lu is left staring at her. However, Gu kicks him in the peanuts, calling him a pervert because she doesn't remember anything. And with this scene, the movie comes to an end. Subscribe to the channel if you think Lu did the right thing by saving Gu's father. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.